dominant, and while his ball
No, he was. Jordan was. No, he was. He was. Jordan was definitely individually, statistically dominant. Again, something we talked about in the last. Michael Jordan against LeBron James, who is the greatest basketball player of all time. Without wasting any more time, guys, let's get straight into it.
from the dawn of time in sports, there have been certain debates that have waged on and on without resolution.
And these are my favorite debates in sports. You know, something that I want to do in this channel more and more is talk about sports overall. MMA, football, basketball, golf, tennis, etc., American football. But this debate, especially the LeBron against Jordan, to me is a very special one because it has no end. It has no end because most other good debates you can in some way settle it, but with the LeBron against Jordan, both parties are just not ready to settle it. But anyways, let's just carry on.
Specific conversations that ultimately just boil down to a matter of perspective and preference.
Good
But
point.
in some
Yeah.
very rare instances, an elite force has risen to the forefront and distanced themselves from all other competition.
Yeah.
Ended all conversations or debates. And on June 14th, 1998, when Michael Jordan hit the shot over Brian Russell to secure his sixth and final championship with the Chicago Bulls, he also let rest his case as the all-time GOAT of basketball. While Jordan wasn't the greatest winner the sport has ever seen, while he might not have been the most individually, statistically dominant, and while his ball
No, he was. Jordan was. No, he was. He was. He was. Jordan was definitely individually, statistically dominant. Again, something we talked about in the last Jordan video. For someone to win 10 scoring titles, he was definitely individually dominant. And from a stats perspective, to have six Finals MVPs, he was definitely that. So I kind of disagree with that point.
statistical accumulation does not rise to the level of other all-time greats who played substantially longer than him. Jordan does.
That's a good point. Some players like Kareem do have, you know, more stat. I don't want to say this, but I mean it in a good way. More stat padded resumes in a sense, like having the most points of all time, at least when he finished his career, and that's because of course, he had a longer career than Jordan. But Jordan, for the duration of his career, especially the Chicago Bulls, that's the argument for a lot of people, is the fact that during Jordan's time, there was no one that even came close to try and contest what he was able to do, especially when he had the players around him to help him to win a championship. Because he was already dominating before that. He was already winning scoring titles. He was already regarded by some as the best player in the league before he started winning. But after he started winning and the manner that he was doing it, it was like he went to the finals and never lost. Like, doing it in that manner, of course, enhances how people view you. But he was already like an elite player even before the championships in the 90s.
Does represent the greatest total package in basketball history. And while other players have risen somewhat near his level in the time since he stepped away from the game,
Shout out Kobe. Shout out Kobe.
able to eclipse him. Yet for some absurd and incomprehensible reason that still remains largely unknown, significant portions of the mass sports media continue to inundate us with LeBron James, Michael Jordan debates, as if this is some remotely close conversation. And even sadder and more pathetic is that there is a sect of media and fans out there that believe LeBron has even somehow eclipsed Michael Jordan.
Kobe Bryant couldn't fail
Okay, I don't think anyone has eclipsed Michael Jordan. I just think that if we're having a debate between Jordan and LeBron, even if you think that LeBron is better, it will be by a small margin. Like all these people that are saying LeBron is way better than Jordan, you're crazy. That's just the fact of the matter. If you think LeBron is way better than Jordan, you are crazy. You can say that he's better, and I can see an argument being made for that, and this is why we're making this video. I'm not taking any sides on this video at all. Again, I'm just trying to get more resources to try and finally come to a conclusion on this debate, and I'll make a video on that, of course. But yeah, saying any player in the basketball in the history of basketball has eclipsed Jordan, especially after he finished playing, is absurd.
Or Michael Jordan fill LeBron's shoes.
But the one and only thing LeBron James has ever done better than Jordan is play longer. And it is not.
And again, this is where I disagree. Like, if you're going to have this debate between Jordan and LeBron, you do have to acknowledge the things that LeBron is better than Jordan at. One of those things being passing. Another one of those things being oh my days, I just forgot. Yeah, passing, rebounding. Another thing being outside shooting. Like by outside shooting, I mean 3-pointers, especially the LeBron since he joined back with the Cavaliers and started taking on the Warriors. So if you're going to talk about the LeBron against Jordan debate, if you're going to talk about Jordan, you also have to acknowledge the things that LeBron is good at and is better at than Jordan. Because otherwise, it just sounds like you're not being serious and you're not being for real, and then you can't take your points as true.
Merely the length of time LeBron played, but the time span of when he played. LeBron entered the league directly from high school and started accruing his all-important bulk statistics at just the age of 18. Jordan, meanwhile, played 3 years of college basketball, not entering the NBA until the age of 21. Jordan then famously retired at the age of just 30 to pursue a career in baseball, and that retirement lasted for almost 2 full years, as he would sit out the entire 93-94 year and return to the NBA with only 17 games remaining in the 1994-95 season. Therefore, Jordan missed the vast majority of his age 30 and 31 seasons.
But again, I don't think that should be used as an argument for Jordan. That's his fault. Like, great player. Again, not saying that there weren't things in his life that were happening, but you retiring, that you have no one to blame but yourself. So I don't want to hear this as an argument for Jordan. Like, you retired because you wanted to. You came back and did amazingly, and you can use that. But him not playing anymore, I don't want to hear it. LeBron's longevity is definitely something that should be used as... LeBron's longevity is something that enhances his argument, not something that we should look at as stat padding. Coming into the league at the age of 18 is remarkable. That just shows how amazing LeBron was. For you to come into the league at the age of 18, as he said, straight from high school, that is impressive. That is extremely impressive. And I don't want to say LeBron dominated from day one, but he was a very good player from day one. And then after 2-3 seasons, he began to dominate. So the whole longevity thing, I think LeBron gets a tick for that, and we shouldn't really downplay it by saying he was stat padding since he was 18. I think that's a bit unfair.
He also broke his foot at the very beginning of his second season in the league, missing all but 18 games that year as well. Michael Jordan.
Tough. That's tough. Again, that injuries comes into play. Coming straight from high school, that just goes to show how impressive LeBron's longevity is.
At the age of 35, announced his second retirement, which lasted 3 full years until he decided to return again to the Washington Wizards at the age of 38, which was largely a marketing ploy for the team he owned at the time. As you can see, not truly an apples-to-apples comparison with the modern-day self-proclaimed
right there that made me the greatest player of all time.
Who has been ring chasing and maximizing his winning and stat stacking potential for the vast majority of his entire, now 20-year career and counting.
Okay, again, unfair towards LeBron. Every star player is ring chasing. Come on, we can't attribute that to just LeBron. Jordan was also ring chasing. Yes, he didn't leave his team, but he was chasing those rings, and Jordan was also fortunate for having a front office that made the right moves at the right times to put Jordan in a better position. Whereas the Cavaliers, with LeBron at the start, were really a bum front office that didn't really give LeBron a lot to work on or to work with. So. And LeBron tried in 2007. He took that Cavaliers team to the finals against the Spurs. There were no match. They got swept. But LeBron tried. Like, how old was LeBron? 23, 24 at the time? I forgot how old he was, but he was very young. And he tried his best. But, again, that team, after that loss in the finals, should have went and got LeBron another all-star or someone at that caliber. And they didn't. So LeBron had no option really at the time, or at least after that, to try and find a better situation. So the whole ring chasing thing, I don't want to hear it, because it is a bit unfair. Because if they played in two great front offices and LeBron had the options that Jordan also had, then it would be a different conversation.
James has played 1,421 career regular season games so far, while Jordan played in only 1,072. In terms of playoff games, James has played in 282 as compared to Jordan's 179. More than 100 additional playoff games alone.
Good point.
In totality, James has played 452 more career games than Michael Jordan, and unsurprisingly has logged substantially more minutes than Michael Jordan, over 17,000 more. So with a vast amount of additional time James has logged in comparison to Michael Jordan, LeBron must be increasingly more accomplished. Well, not exactly. LeBron James, in 20 years of play, has led the league in scoring just one time, and that was...
Good point. I'll take that. Like, again, we talked about in the last video, 10 scoring titles compared to 1 is a joke. Like, when it comes to scoring that side of the game, like, if we have to compare the two, I don't think that scoring titles is the only way to compare how good of a scorer someone is. Because the scoring, for example, someone can still average 35 points per game, but if someone else averages 40, then they get the scoring title. But does that mean you didn't have a great scoring season? You still had a great scoring season, it's just someone else was better. So using scoring titles alone isn't the best way to look at how good a player is at scoring. But yeah, you can't really argue with 10. 10 to 1, come on, like, what are we doing now? So scoring definitely goes to Jordan, but LeBron is still an elite scorer, especially when he wants to be that elite scorer, like in 2018 in that playoff run.
Way back in the 2007-2008 season, when he was just aged 23 in his 5th year in the league at the time. Also led the league in assists one time, which was in the highly unusual COVID-shortened 2019-2020 season. Those are the only 2 instances that LeBron has ever led the league.
Yo, this video is so lopsided, bro. This guy just keeps throwing shit at LeBron. This guy just keeps throwing shade at LeBron. Oh my days.
In any standard box metric, compared to Michael Jordan, who led the league in scoring an incomprehensible 10 times, and that was in 10 consecutive seasons, beginning with his third
10 consecutive seasons is a bit crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
year in the NBA, and spanning all the way to his age 35 season when he retired the second time. For context, Wilt Chamberlain is second all-time with 7 scoring crowns, and no other player ever has more than 4. Jordan also led the league in steals 3 different times throughout his career, resulting in 13 standard box crowns, compared to just 2 for the self-proclaimed king. But as we know, and are perpetually reminded of by the mass media, LeBron has always been more of an advanced analytics type of player, since James was unable to excel and distance himself in standard means of measurement. An entire movement of analytics
that show was ass.
to build and promote fake cases of dominance for him and others like him, the allegedly efficient players. Very important to diminish actual winners and prop up fantastical cases of alleged greatness.
Yo, this guy loves hating, bro.
Surely, LeBron can accept